So I had a client, I have to keep her name anonymous because she is a larger business owner, more established business owner, but I'm going to call her Rachel. And Rachel is my client who closed a $91,000 deal with while I was helping her. And she is a coach that specializes in creativity and personal development. Her work deals with things like spirituality, ancestry, intuition, discovering who we really are and how we might impact others with our creative work. And I supported her business in 2023. And Rachel was already an established business owner. Like I said, she'd spent a few years selling programs at 10K, 15K. And in 2022, she had a pretty good year and her business did 350K plus in sales. But in early 2023, things started to really change in some big ways. And one of those big changes was that Rachel had this billionaire prospect come to her. And this person said, I feel drawn to work with you. Can you help me? And she was overwhelmed when this happened because this was a very wealthy and influential person. They were even like locally famous. They had a big impact on the community, and she was so overwhelmed. She said, how could this happen? Like such a rare opportunity, this feels sacred to me, to help someone who is like a literal billionaire with a big influence on the community. And I feel like if I'm going to help him, I feel like I have to do it for free. And so I was sitting with her and she said this, and we just sat with that for a minute. And I said back to her, I said, so you feel like because he is so wealthy that you have to help him for free. And we talked about it. We just had a very slow discussion about what kind of feelings she was feeling when that happened, what was going through her head when she went there, what how she really felt about this person approaching her and what that would mean. And I also helped her understand because I've worked with CEOs, I've worked with corporate board members and other wealthy people. I can understand a little bit of how their minds work. So I kind of gave her a little perspective on like, how people at his level of wealth might encounter money and how they might see it. And we start to discuss and just kind of like play through some scenarios. And Rachel realized her overwhelm was more about the power scales tipping and that tension that started to come up like, oh wow, he's so much wealthier than me. This is so crazy. Do I deserve to have that kind of client? Do I deserve to get paid by someone of that status? And so that perspective shift inspired her to create an offer for him, to put together a proposal for him. And so she put together the proposal, and the total of that was 102,000. And they had some negotiation, ended up taking some pieces out, but Rachel ended up closing this sale at $91,800. And this was paid in full to her business by wire transfer. So, this was somebody that had already gained some experience holding money, right? Making multiple six-figure sales in years, right? So this is not a beginner doing this, but it was still an overwhelming enough experience to intimidate her, to make her conscious of those power scales tipping, to feel tension, to feel worry, to feel embarrassment, to feel this all these feelings coming up about, okay, what do I do? What do I do? What do I charge? How do I do this? And it was just a simple shift that enabled her to think things through from his point of view and be able to offer something of value to this client.